All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and our good friend Antoine from Co-Brand, the French wine specialist. They've got Italian wine specialist, a French wine specialist, and they probably got a California guy too. Anyways, this is a company that's got a lot of really good wines. They just picked up one of the top producers from Alsace, Domaine, Zind, Humbrecht, and I have to say, one of the longest visits, I think, longest tastings I've ever been to at a winery. I think they have like 30 wines. Everything exceptional, but exceptionally expensive, let me tell you. For a Lieu D or just a name vineyard, you know, they don't have any premier crus in Alsace, just Grand Crus. This Claude Winspool Gewürztraminer for $90. Ooh-wah! Anyways, we started out with little Bouvet, and this is a sparkling wine from the Loire Valley, and it is only aged for 9 months, so they can't use the title of Cremant. I think it's 12 months you have to age to call it Cremant, but 100% Cabernet Franc, but it is Method Champenoise, which is the important thing. Whenever you're buying sparkling wine, you can get Method Champenoise sparklers, which means they're made the same way that they make the great wines in Champagne, process that's been developed over the last couple hundred years. Very expensive to make wine like that, fermented in the bottle that the wine comes in. They have to take the cork out along with the sediment and put dosage into it, which is a little sugar. And this wine's got a little bit of dosage to it. Nice dose of sweetness here to this wine. And nice fruity bouquet, pretty floral highlights, raspberry, cherry fruit, some light smoky notes there too, some minerality showing through. A fine creamy mousse on the tongue, sweet red berry fruit, that strawberry and raspberries. And like I said, a nice dose of dosage, something you find in these less expensive Method Champenoise, appealing to the average folk. And this wine doesn't have anywhere on it an indication as to what batch it is. One of my little pet peeves about sparkling wines, it should indicate if it's a non-vintage product, at least when it was disgorged on the bottle. All right, anyways, we digress. Chateau de Jacques, this is one of the top level estates in Beaujolais, but you won't find Maison Louis Jadot anywhere on the label here. Well, in small print on the back, it is a Jadot property, and as you can see by the motif on the label and the red capsule, you would think Jadot. Anyways, this is one of the crus of Beaujolais, Chenas, and this is only recently that they've invested in some property here. The winemaker found a really nice old partial of Gamay, which is what they grow there, and they don't use carbonic in this, which is a process they use in some Beaujolais to make them fruity and to make them more appealing young. This is a serious Gamay made just like the great wines of Burgundy. And they do use some barrique here. It's got some intense forward fruit here, though. This 2009's showing wonderful fruit on the nose, and you notice a little bit of that granite minerality here as well. Tobacco spice, some pretty floral notes. Lovely forward berry fruit on the tongue, smooth silky tannins, ripe and round, with those pretty floral notes shown, along with that earthy character you get from those granite soils from Beaujolais. This wine's got wonderful balance, drinks lovely right out of the bottle, but you could probably keep it for up to a decade if cellared properly. It's amazing, these top-level Beaujolais. People don't think of aging them, but 10 years down the road, they taste like old Burgundy, which is what they are. $24.75. Only 16 cases, I think, brought into South Florida. All right, then the big boy, the Gewürztraminer Claude Winspool. And like I said, this is a single vineyard wine. It's not Premier Cru. They don't have Premier Cru in Alsace, something they're talking about implementing, because you just go from village to Grand Cru, which there's no in-between, which I guess is, you know, you just have Cru, I should say, which is what they should say, actually, instead of Grand Cru. That's just a Cru vineyard site, which is what they do in the Piedmonts. This wine has a beautiful bouquet here, and a classic Gewürztraminer, the spicy grape. It's got the lavender, the hibiscus, really lovely floral and perfume notes with gorgeous peach and lychee fruit, a hint of white pepper spice in the nose. This wine is rich and decadent on the tongue. Lovely, sweet, juicy fruit. You notice that residual sugar in this wine. Zind wines tend to run a little on the sweet side, but they have got a firm hand of acidity balancing that out. That lovely perfume and that peppery spice showing through on the finish. Very rich. Excellent juice. A little bit expensive. $90 a bottle for Gewürztraminer. Anyways, good juice is not cheap. All right, that's what we had to drink with our friend Antoine from Co-Brand. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.